Hi, I'm Avery. We're Team 2 for the Head and Neck School Project. This week we're doing muscles, and I'm going to take you through muscles 65 through 71. Muscle 65 is the sternocleidomastoid, and this muscle turns the head side to side and tilts it toward the shoulder. It also helps flex the neck and assists in forced inhalation by elevating the sternum. Muscle 66 is the trapezius, and this moves the scapula by elevating, retracting, and rotating the shoulders. It also helps extend the head and maintain posture of the neck and upper back. Muscle 67 is the epicranius, and this muscle raises the eyebrows and wrinkles the forehead, creating expressions of surprise. It also moves the scalp backward and forward. Muscle 68 is the orbicularis oculi, and this muscle closes the eyelids for blinking and squinting, and it also protects the eye and helps spread tears across the surface. Muscle 69 is the corrugator supercilii, and this muscle draws the eyebrows downward and medially, producing frowning lines. It also functions in expressions of concentration, worry, or anger. Muscle 70 is the orbicularis oris, and this closes and protrudes the lips. It's used in speaking, whistling, and holding food in the mouth. 71 is the buccinator, and this compresses the cheeks against the teeth during chewing. It also helps keep food between the occlusal surfaces, and it's important for blowing and sucking actions.
Hi, I'm Courtney, and I'll be doing part 2 and 3 of our school project. First up, we have number 72, the risorius. The origin is the masseter muscle, and it inserts on the commissure of the mouth. This muscle helps pull the corner of the mouth laterally, which contributes to expressions like smiling. Next up, we have number 73, the levator labii superioris. It originates from the infraorbital rim of the maxilla and inserts into the upper lip. Its function is to elevate the upper lip. Number 74 is the levator labii superioris alakainesi. It originates from the frontal process of the maxilla and inserts into the ala of the nose and the upper lip. This muscle elevates the upper lip and helps flare the nostrils. Number 75 is the zygomaticus major. It originates from the zygomatic bone and inserts in the commissure of the mouth. This muscle elevates the corner of the mouth during smiling. Number 76 is the zygomaticus minor. It also originates from the zygomatic bone but inserts into the upper lip. It helps to elevate the upper lip. Number 77 is the levator anguli oris. It originates from the canine fossa and inserts at the commissure of the mouth. This muscle elevates the angle of the mouth. Number 78 is the depressor anguli oris. It originates from the lower border of the mandible and inserts at the commissure. It pulls the corner of the mouth downward. Number 79 is the depressor labii inferioris. It originates from the lower border of the mandible and inserts into the lower lip. This muscle depresses the lower lip.
Hi, my name is Kelsey. I'll be covering numbers 80 through 85 as well as number 100 for the skull project. Number 80 is the mentalis with its origin at the mandible midline and the insertion at the chin, and this muscle helps to elevate and protrude the lower lip. Number 81 is the platysma with its origin in the chest area, which cannot be shown, and the insertion at the lower border of the mandible as well as around the mouth and the orbicularis oris. This muscle is responsible for tensing the neck and helps to depress the mandible. Number 82 is the masseter with its origin at the zygomatic arch and its insertion on the outer border of the mandible. This muscle helps to elevate the mandible. Number 83 is the temporalis with its origin in the temporal fossa and its insertion on the inner surface of the coronoid process of the mandible, and this muscle helps to elevate and retract the mandible. Number 84 can be seen on the inside of the skull with its origin at the lateral pterygoid plate, aka the medial surface of the pterygoid fossa on the sphenoid bone, and its insertion is at the inside angle of the mandible. This muscle helps to elevate the mandible as well as move it from side to side. Number 85 is the lateral pterygoid with its origin at the greater wing of the sphenoid bone on the lateral surface, and its origin is on the condyle and the TMJ capsule. This muscle helps to protract and depress the mandible. Jumping ahead to number 100 is the palato-glossus muscle with its origin at the median palatine raphe and insertion at the tongue. This muscle helps to elevate the tongue and depress the soft palate for swallowing.
Here's my skull with the painted on muscles, and today I'm going to be going over numbers 101 through 110 of parts 2 and 3 of the skull project. 101 is the palatopharyngeus. It elevates the pharynx and larynx during swallowing, depresses the soft palate, and helps close off the nasopharynx during swallowing and speech. Its origin is at the posterior border of the hard palate, and the insertion is the lateral wall of the pharynx. Number 102 is the levator veli palatini, and it elevates the soft palate and prevents food and liquid from entering the nasal cavity. Its origin is the petrous part of the temporal bone, and the insertion is the palatine aponeurosis of the soft palate. The tensor veli palatini tenses the soft palate, flattens the soft palate, and opens the auditory tube during swallowing and yawning. Its origin is the spine of the sphenoid bone, and the insertion is the palatine aponeurosis of the soft palate. 104 is the muscle of the uvula, and it shortens and elevates the uvula, thickens the central part of the soft palate, and helps achieve tight closure of the nasopharynx during swallowing and speech. Its origin is the posterior nasal spine, and the insertion is the mucosa of the uvula. Number 105, the pterygomandibular raphe serves as a tendinous junction between the buccinator muscle and the superior pharyngeal constrictor muscle. Its origin is at the pterygoid hamulus of the medial pterygoid plate, and the insertion is at the posterior end of the myohyoid line of the mandible. The median palatine raphe is a fibrous midline junction in the hard palate that represents the line of fusion of the two palatine shelves during embryological development. It runs from the pharyngeal tubercle to the posterior wall of the esophagus. The TMJ capsule encloses and stabilizes the temporomandibular joint. It holds the synovial fluid within the joint cavity and maintains proper alignment of the mandibular condyle and articular disc. 108 is the TMJ ligament that prevents posterior displacement of the mandibular condyle and limits excessive opening and downward movement of the mandible. 109 is the sphenomandibular ligament, which helps stabilize the mandible during opening and closing and serves as a pivot point during mandibular movements. Here's another view of the sphenomandibular ligament where it attaches to the rest of the skull. The stylomandibular ligament acts as a passive support between the skull and the mandible and helps stabilize the mandible during jaw movements. It attaches here on the mandible and here to the styloid process.